Guys, this one's crazy. We have to talk about all the reveals from the brand new Thunderbolts trailer. A lot of fans and content creators have picked this trailer apart and found all kinds of Easter eggs and secrets. And on top of that, we have comments from insiders that explain some things that maybe you don't know just by watching the trailer. And this includes connections to Captain America Brave New World and the overall setting up of the new Avengers team. Let's start with maybe one of the biggest reveals in the trailer, and that is that this is Avengers Tower. What I'm showing you right now, the scene with all of the Thunderbolts confronting Valentina Contessa, that's Avengers Tower. You can tell because the bar is the same bar that Tony Stark was in front of at the end of the Avengers movie when he has that conflict with Loki, literally saying, like, we have a Hulk. And of course, we know that Tony Stark sold Avengers Tower. That's something that's kind of been going on in the background of the MCU for a long time. We now have an answer as far as who bought the tower, and that would be Val. CIA Director Valentina Contessa, whatever the Val bought the Avengers Tower. Mystery solved. Now, the next thing we got to talk about from the trailer is Bob, our first real look at Bob, aka the Sentry. Now, Bob literally pops out of a container in the room where all the Thunderbolts have that big crazy conflict, and you can literally see, like, he pops out. He was hiding, and then once he reveals himself, that's when all of the doors shut in, closing them all in that room, and then that fire lights up from the ceiling. And interestingly enough, when you look at Bob in the shots where he's confronting all of the gunmen, all of these holes in his suit actually look more like holes from fire or flames than they do bullet holes. There's a bunch of burning or charred edges on these holes. So what I think is happening here is all of these mercenaries are hired by Val to come to Avengers Tower. They then have that confrontation in that room, and then once Bob Reynolds, aka the Sentry, reveals himself, that's when the security measures come down. They lock them in there, and it's all about Bob. They're trying to kill the Sentry. And also, right before the action pops off in that room, Yelena is looking at an open box that has all sorts of clues as far as what Marvel Studios is doing with the Sentry. In this box, you have a bunch of documents, including outlines for something known as the Watchtower. And in Marvel Comics, the Watchtower was where Sentry's headquarters were. And it's like really weird and mysterious because in Marvel Comics, the Sentry was a forgotten hero. He was a hero way long ago. That's why his suit kind of looks more old school than most of the other modern Marvel characters. And the world literally forgets about Sentry. Everybody forgets about him, and then like nobody can see the Watchtower. It's really weird and trippy, but it seems like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Watchtower is the design for a vault, perhaps a vault which was involved in the creation of the Sentry, or just a vault to house the Sentry, to like keep him there. We can also see a document which has different versions of the Sentry's S logo and even different versions of the blonde hair for the Sentry and his costume. So this is crazy. This implies that the Sentry is a completely manufactured character, that this was some corporate controlled thing where they were trying to create this super soldier and make him into like a new Superman. Now, Superman, like, I don't think is really real in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though the kid in Eternals talks about Superman when referencing Icarus. I mean, maybe DC exists in the Marvel Universe. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, Sentry is like a Superman character that they are building. And I mean, literally building, like they created him with the serum, and then they are manufacturing everything about him. His entire look is manufactured. Now, in Marvel Comics, there is a super soldier serum known as the Sentry serum, which Bob Reynolds takes, and then he becomes the Sentry. But it's never like fully explained what was in that serum or why it was so powerful. It was just described as like a dialed up version of the super soldier serum. And we know that Val has been interested in super soldiers from all the way back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's par for the course for her to be involved in building new versions of the super soldier program. And she has also been consolidating power as the head of the CIA and also this leader of the Thunderbolts as she assembles all of these different mercenaries and people together, right? And we see that at the end of the Black Widow movie. So it stands to reason that Val is the person that creates the super soldier serum. And although none of this is fully explained in the trailer, and I don't believe any insiders are talking about how the serum is made, I speculate that that serum will be made from the DNA of the Celestial, of Tiamat, and Tiamat Island appearing and being a big focus of what they're doing in the Captain America Brave New World movie is the perfect opportunity for them to connect the Sentry serum to the Celestial, Val's involvement with the United States government, to Brave New World, and them trying to get the adamantium out of Tiamat Island. So I think Val will be the person that makes the Sentry, right? And I mean that as like the corporate creation of what the Sentry is supposed to be, and also just literally physically making the super soldier serum, having Bob take it, and then he becomes the Sentry. But because it appears Val wants to destroy Bob, and there's all these people shooting Bob when he exits that building, I'm going to assume that Yelena and all of these different mercenaries were hired by Val to come to Avengers Tower to either capture or kill Bob Reynolds, aka the Sentry. Now, another thing that's revealed in the trailer is that Bucky is back to being cool again, okay? And there are rumors that Bucky's going to begin the movie as a senator. That's when you see him at the United Nations or at that big party with Val, where she has Loki's scepter and a lot of other artifacts that were recovered by Damage Control, which is run by the government now instead of Tony Stark. Remember that in both Spider-Man Far From Home and in Spider-Man No Way Home, we are watching as Tony's assets are sold off and the government takes control of a lot of Stark tech. So it seems like Bucky is working in an official government capacity, but probably just like all of the other mercenaries, he's longing to get back out there into the field. So that's probably why Val recruits him to take over the Thunderbolts. Because I think the Thunderbolt team is going to start by being led by Yelena, and then Bucky will eventually be brought in by Val to take full leadership of the team. And I think that might happen towards the end of the movie. Like Bucky comes in as the leader late, maybe in the third act, then all of them together then go after the Sentry. The rumors are they're going to have a crazy encounter with Sentry, and we will have the Void coming as well. TLDR on that, the Void is like the alter ego of the Sentry. This like really dark force that when combined with Sentry is like one of the most powerful entities in all of existence. When Sentry becomes the Void, it's a problem for like the whole universe. Like one of the most powerful things in comics, capable of destroying entire universes. Void is bad. But there was a recent tease by My Time to Shine Hello that the asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts actually refers to the new Avengers. And when you combine that with what Alex Perez was talking about with regards to the Avengers in 616 assembling and becoming aware of a big multiversal threat as a way to build up RDJ Doctor Doom, well, it kind of makes sense that between Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts, you would see this new Avengers team be assembled. And what I think will happen is between those two movies, maybe in the post-credit scenes, you will see Sam Wilson and his team of Avengers, which I think might include Bruce Banner's Hulk, maybe even Captain Marvel. Who knows exactly will join up with Sam. But I think that team will link up with Bucky Barnes, Sentry, Florence Pugh's Yelena, and any other members of the Thunderbolts that make it out alive. And honestly, I don't really know how many of those there'll be. But I actually think it's pretty freaking crazy that you're going to have the Thunderbolts connect to Captain America Brave New World. And I really believe that you will get the new Avengers team established basically between these two films. That's kind of cool. Let me know what you think about all these different reveals and the insiders claiming that this will be new Avengers. That's like what the asterisk means there. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.